Oh gosh, this is such a beautiful ballad. Wow. That is very cool. I love a bit of a bring down to bring it back up again. What a beautiful song. Wow, 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 wow. Kia ora and welcome. My name is Oishibi and I'm your vocal coach for today. I am so excited. We're going to be taking a look at Sienna Spiro with The Visitor. One of my singing students asked me to take a look at this, so I have to. Well, I don't have to actually. I can do whatever the fuck I want, but I'm going to because they want to sing this song and we're going to break it down. What's she up to with her sound? How is she creating these? And I'm going to do my best to help you understand so that you can create them in your own voice. So you want to learn more about how to make these beautiful sounds that your favorite singers make. I love analyzing vocalists, so hit that subscribe button because these are like every single one of the performances on this channel are masterclasses in vocal technique, and we have so much to learn from them. That's how I learned to sing, by following in the footsteps of my favorite singers, so I hope to do the same for you. Anyway, whatever, Zoe. Shut up and let's take a look at Sienna Spiro. I've never heard the song before.
A brilliant new single, The Visitor. It's Sienna Spiro.
For hours. You might start the song and go, Jesus Christ, that's how it is. It's just like right on the cusp of the I'm gonna say average female passaggio on that B flat 4. Whew! Let's watch that again. Okay, so all things inspired. She's got loads of thyroid tilt in the sound, loads of it. What is thyroid tilt? The thyroid is here where the vocal folds live. And so when the thyroid cartilage tilts forward, it stretches the vocal folds. So firstly, that is the first port of call. This is the reason why the sound sounds more sung, but it is also a way that we can stretch the vocal folds in order to go higher in the range. So wake up for hours. She stayed in that one position, but allowed the larynx to change as she's going down. I know you won't stay. She didn't take the larynx down. Let's watch that again. So she's kept the larynx in that higher position. I'm yours for hours. You're always mine. You're always mine. Instead of going, you're always mine. Because again, this is an artistic artist decision and a stylistic decision that someone needs to make. How loud do you want those low notes to be? If we want to make them louder, then we need to take the larynx down. It's always mine. If we want to make them quieter, it's always mine. We leave the larynx in that higher position. Again, they're both good decisions. All things expire. I know you won't stay, but I seem to inspire you to say that you love me, say I'm all you need. We're going to get into this section. This is something that a lot of my singers come into the studio wanting to do, okay? At the end of her phrases, she releases to breath and it has like a little bit of a crackle in it, or there's like a little bit of a rasp. Let's watch that again so you can really pay attention to the end of those phrases. Rented time. I'm yours for hours. So we can hear there at the end of the phrases that she's releasing to breath and talk for hours, allowing those vocal folds to open. Now, we are also hearing a little bit of crackle coming in, and we do know that Sienna has vocal fold nodules. Now, vocal fold nodules are essentially like when we have the vocal folds like this, it's essentially as if there's a callus growing. It's going to be like a really like too big of a callus, okay? It's like there's a callus growing on the vocal fold themselves, okay? And where there's one, there's mostly two. So what happens is if you, and again, nodules are not this big, right? The vocal folds are as big as our pinky fingernail, but like this is just to show you. So if I've got a callus on there, it's actually going to be stopping the vocal folds from coming together. And so this is when at the end where it's hearing that breath release, so actually I suppose I could even do it like this, it's stopping the vocal folds from actually coming together. Now, we'll talk about how she manages to go high and have a clean tone then later on. But this crackle with the breath flow can only be introduced in singers without vocal fold nodules or even with pre-nodules, can only be introduced if we add in a little bit of slack, which would be, to be honest, in a lot of situations would be relatively difficult. And talk for hours. You know, you can add in a little bit, but it kind of sounds a little bit like strange in some situations. And in this part of the range, it's quite high to create slack vocal folds. So I just want to point out that this is sometimes physiologically impossible for singers.
Towers, rented time. I'm yours for hours. You're always mine. All things expire. I know you won't stay, but I seem to inspire you to say that you love me, say I'm all you need. In the back of my mind, I know I'm temporary. You're holding me for the night, for some pleasure, if that's all you're.
Okay, so when she's going, all I need is a bone. I feel like I'm going to change songs in there. So we've got loads of thyroid till we're hearing that cry in there. That's what's helping her to go higher in the range. Now, she's wearing the perfect dress for us to have a little look at what is going on with her breath pressure. We're seeing also here in this still, if we look at this, we consider hold on. Again, I've just changed to a different song. We've got that oh. She's having to, create quite a lot of, take away a lot of the space within the throat there, because especially with the nodules, we're needing to essentially use a lot more pressure in order to close the vocal folds at this height.
You to say that you love me, say I'm all you need. In the back of my mind, I know I'm temporary.
So you can hear, in the back of my mind, yeah, no, I'm temporary. So she's had that tension coming in for those high notes, and then she's releasing it for those lower notes. So when we've got, and this is very, I have to say this is specific for nodules or those with vocal fold injuries. I would never, to be honest, in my vocal studio, I wouldn't recommend that someone continue singing at this level, but it's her decision. It is a professional's decision. They can do whatever they want. And it's my job as a vocal coach to go, I accept that. It's your decision. You are aware of everything. You've gone to have them checked out. You're being checked up regularly with a doctor. And I'm going to help you to make the best sound that you can create. I actually have, I think 2 or 3 of my singers at the moment who have currently got active nodules or pre-nodules, or they're called soft nodules. And most of the time you can get rid of them actually through vocal, you don't have to always have surgery to remove nodules. You can actually use vocal therapy to get rid of them.
No, I'm temporary. You're holding me for the night, for some pleasure, if that's all you're. No, I'll always be a visitor. In your arms.
I haven't really got very far in the song, have I? In your arms, going to that thinner vocal fold with a little bit of breath there. She doesn't really take the larynx low in order to get more weight on the sound, but I'm assuming we're going to have that later on in the song. It's a really nice way, especially at the beginning of songs, that you kind of hold back some of those lower resonances for later in the piece.
It's in my nature to be cynical. I want to be remembered, so I get hysterical. I wanna be that one thing, something special to you. Say you won't forget me, but you always do. Then say that you love me, say I'm all you need.
Oh gosh, this is such a beautiful ballad. Wow. I feel like Adele could have written this song. So let's just go back on this because I'm really enjoying when she goes, ba-da-ba-da-da-do.
It's in my nature to be cynical. I want to be remembered, so I get hysterical.
It's almost she's come out. I want to be remembered, so I get hysterical. She's like wanting. I really like that she's almost speaking on pitch in this moment. Hysterical, and with that thyroid tilt, just warms up the sound to be a little bit more sung.
I wanna be that one thing, something special to you. Say you won't forget me, but you always do. Then say that you love me.
That was great breath control. So they always do. Then say that you remember me. I feel like I'm gonna have to go and learn this song afterwards. You know, some of these really cool songs I do. I want to go and like plink away at my piano and like teach them to myself. So we've got this. You sort of the shoulders coming forward is telling me she's kind of like running out of breath or pushing through, or it could also just be that it's like an emotional kind of moment. Say that you'll leave me. Now we are hearing again. Not to bang on about it, but I honestly get a lot of students talking to me about, I want to be able to do this, this, and this. The say, she had like a little hiccup almost in the sound where it went tone, breath, tone. That is very classic nodules. As we're going higher in the range, that increase in the breath pressure, and basically, if we don't keep the pressure consistent behind the vocal folds and we push too much air, they will tend to blow open. There you go, because we say, I can't do it on nodules, yeah? So we go say because the S is created with the breath. Say, that is taking the vocal fold contact away.
In the back of my mind, I know I'm temporary. You're holding me for the night, for some pleasure, if that's all we are. No, I'll always be a visitor.
I was sort of like around the F sharp 4. I think always be. Oh, okay, F4 there. So always be your visitor. Very much within the female chest voice register there. Thicker vocal folds, still loads of thyroid tilt. I feel like the whole thing is in thyroid tilt. I think that Sienna's been having singing lessons. This sounds very different to when we looked at Die on This Hill, actually, because I feel that she's really reduced the volume, and you can see very clearly, beautiful dress to see this, how much more effort is going on in the abdominals here. Let's just go back and watch that.
Some pleasure, if that's all we are. No, I'll always be a visitor.
Okay, I think that she's been getting vocal lessons. Okay, please correct me if I'm wrong. But what we're seeing there is she's getting now, instead of using volume to close the vocal folds, because volume is an easy way, let's say that, of making the vocal folds thicker. So we're going to have better contact if the vocal folds are thicker. Now we can do the same thing, and please, dear God, do not try this if you do not have vocal fold nodules, okay? This is not something that I recommend, but as I said, every singer gets to decide for their own fucking selves, okay? So if a singer says to me, Zoe, I want to continue singing with my nodules, I am not here to judge. I'm here to help them, okay? One of the ways that we can build up the subglottic pressure, and this is not to be done in healthy singers, okay? And I am saying that healthy singers are the ones without nodules. Nodules are not really what we want in singing. You will find that out later on in life. You're seeing the increase in the subglottic pressure being created there by pushing on the abdominals there. What that does is the abdominal muscles that are breathing out muscles, that is pulling in the pressure to pressurize the thoracic cavity, so we can basically create thicker vocal folds by building up this air pressure underneath. That's what I'm meaning, is I think she's had vocal lessons because she's not using volume to create this sound anymore. Let's just watch that again.
I know I'm temporary. You're holding me for the night, for some pleasure, if that's all we are. No, I'll always be a visitor. You're
She did a big old sweep into that. She's really stayed in a very similar vocal quality. You can see her go up and back, utilizing those back muscles to strengthen the tone. Now, I feel like she wanted to go to the breath and, sorry, not to the breath. I feel like she wanted to go to the vibrato. We heard a little bit of a waver in there. So we heard that in your arms, in your arms. So we got arms. Now, one of the tricky things, and this is, I am not by any means shitting all over Sienna Spiro, okay? I am meaning this because I have beautiful singers and wonderful singers and all sorts of singers who come into the studio and they want to sound like this. I get a lot of requests for this sort of thing, and especially for Sienna Spiro's voice. So I just wanted to point out that this irregularity in some of the things in her voice, we just cannot create because we don't have that singer's physiology, okay? So this could be with, I could say the same thing about a singer with a larger tongue. I could say the same thing about a singer who maybe does something else with their physiology, who maybe, for example, like the guy from Incubus, who has, you know, something going on with his sinuses. We cannot recreate that sound because it's a physiological thing that's gone on within the body, okay? So I just wanted to point this out. It's sort of like similar in my mind to saying, like, I want to be able to run like someone who's got blades on, but I have two legs and I don't have blades for legs, right? It's like that's a physiological difference that we've got going on there. Obviously blades and legs are like, it's very similar in the idea that it's just not going to happen. So we've got a bit of an irregular wobble going on there. Now, vibrato is created when the breath pressure and the vocal fold closure hit that sort of magical spot with the thyroid tilt, and that's when the sympathetic vibrations actually end up moving the larynx itself. That's why that was not quite regular, because of those nodule movements. People, and I look, there's going to be exceptions, but people with nodules tend to struggle with vibrato. So we got in your arms, she went in your with that E vowel, making the space a little bit tighter. That little bit of breath coming through there. I think the audio engineer has done Sienna a bit of a dirty on this track, because I really feel like the strings have now overpowered the sound. Obviously, I don't know what's going on in her inner ears, which are these things in her earphones that she's wearing in order to hear herself and the music. But I think, and especially on this track, her microphone should be louder, because now I feel like she's having to fight too much against the strings. That is very cool. I love a bit of a bring down to bring it back up again. Very cool. So we've got breath, vocal folds, and then she's bringing in more subglottic pressure to close the vocal folds. I've got the in the back of my mind. And she's brought in a little bit of that twang, the tightening of the area above the larynx, in order to help close the vocal folds more. I'm temporary, you're holding me for the night, for some pleasure. If that's all we are, no, I'll always be a visitor. No, 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 no. No, I'll always be a visitor in your arms. So we got that, and I'll always be your visitor. So the glottal onset is going to help to build up pressure underneath the vocal folds. So this is always my breath, yeah? So we've got the vocal fold closure. Always be your visitor. And that's when we're getting that vocal fold closure without so much of that breath coming in there. And we saw there, she took a little moment to reposition the larynx arms to then have another go at that last note again. So what a beautiful song. Wow, 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 wow. Absolutely stunning song. I can't wait to sing that. Now, these sorts of things, talking about how do we start the note, how do we continue the note, how do we make it sound more sung, is exactly what I'm going to be teaching in my 3-day Find Your True Voice course. It's going to be live. This is actually the first time that I have run a live class outside of the Vocal Academy in 2 years. So I would love to see you there. It's going to be with me. I'm going to be coaching you live in a masterclass. I want to hear you sing. Come on and join me. I'm going to show you the same things that I would work on with Sienna in this video. And we're looking at how do we start the tone? How can we make that sound more sung, lower in the range, so that you're really like going to go, and you're going to have a sound that feels like it's controllable. You're going to have a sound that feels like, okay, I know what I'm doing here. I know I can move my voice around to create the voice that I want. And that's what I want for you. So I'd love to see you in my 3-day course. It's going to be the last one that I run for 2026. So come and join me. I can't wait to help you with your vocal technique. Check out some more Sienna Spiro up here. And it's Spiro, right? I thought it was, Jonathan Ross said Spiro. I'm not really too sure. Apologies if I said that incorrectly. I shall go and have another look at how to pronounce her name. But just remember, everyone can learn to sing. It's just about learning how to coordinate all these beautiful muscles. You would never sit down at a piano and just be like, I should be fantastic at the piano. Same thing goes for your singing. So that's what I want for you, to help you with your vocal technique. I'll see you around here later. Happy singing, Kakitano.